I started locally around Cranley, really, back in the early 1980s. I can't exactly remember when, but I was still at school, and I put cards in post office and shop windows, and either went round on my bike with a toolbox on the back, or I got customers to drop their cars off at my dad's garage, which by the house, and repair them there. So that's how I got started. The current business in development, I started in a sort of present form, I suppose, in 1992, working on my own in a lock-up garage, and since then we've sort of grown pretty much year on year, with a few flat spots in between, but currently having over 20 employees in total and turning over well in excess of £1 million a year. So that's been good. As far as services go, we try to offer pretty much everything a customer would need. That was always my goal, hence the name Complete Car Maintenance. It was complete as in a complete service. So we do brakes, shock absorbers, routine servicing, MOTs, both Class 4 and Class 7, and air conditioning, and obviously diagnostics is something that I've always done, even from the point of having the first sort of Bosch equipment that was available and first oscilloscopes that were available. Always done that, and again now we don't really see it as a specialist. It's part of our routine day-to-day work. We do body work as well, though we no longer do it in-house. We did have a body shop, but we now subcontract, although we still do insurance company work through ourselves. So everything we can, really. Serious marketing, we probably only started about 4 years ago. Up until that point, the business has been built on word of mouth. And I knew that it was something I needed to do, but had never actually sort of concentrated on it. So what we decided to do was just to have a plan and have a strategy to get what we wanted. So initially it was to look at area really where we wanted our customers from, and we decided that realistically a 5-mile radius of the workshop was plenty. There's plenty of vehicles in that area, and it's much easier to look after a customer who's close at hand rather than someone that's 20 or 30 miles away. So we looked at initially at the area and made that as a target, and we spent some money on branding, creating our name as a brand, and then getting that brand out there in various forms. A lot of direct flyers, that type of thing, and also using the media with anything like the Top Technician competition to get our name in the media. It's basically free. And also using our own database to promote ourselves to our current customers and encouraging them to actually bring new custom in. That's another thing that we've concentrated on. More recently, we've looked at specific vehicle marques, particularly sort of prestige vehicles, German cars, Land Rover, Jaguar, that type of vehicle. We've identified that there's a lot of those vehicles in this area, and they're underserved for independent specialists. So we've done some work targeting those customers. One thing that's been very successful for us has been the bespoke flyers. So it's still a mail drop or a door drop to customers through their letterbox, but we use very high quality print, and we do flyers that are specific to that brand of vehicle. So the customer actually identifies with it and feels it's a bit more personal to them rather than just junk drop through their mailbox. And we've had a good response to that. And it's an ongoing process. It's drip, drip. We just keep on going and going. It's something that will never finish. And we're also looking at working with other businesses where those type of customers congregate, particularly leisure businesses, so golf clubs and health clubs, doing advertising with them, doing things jointly to promote our business and their business. That's some of the things we're doing. So plenty to do, and I see it now really ongoing. You know, it's one of those things when the business got to a certain level, we did see our growth stagnate for a few years before we actually really started on the marketing advertising. But I would say it's the earlier that people start on it in their business and spend a bit of time thinking about it rather than just spending money, the better the returns. Certainly it's really worked for us over the last few years very well. Yes, it's a problem, and I see it really, it's a problem for everybody, even the dealers. I mean, speaking to technicians that I know in the dealerships, they don't get all the information that they need necessarily to do the jobs or do the jobs as easy as they could. Sources of information, the internet's a wonderful thing. I mean, you have to know what you're reading is right, but you can get some good information from there, which is free of charge or generally free of charge. But also training is very important. You know, that's again an ongoing thing. You know, we try to budget for our training between £3,000 and £5,000 a year on technical training. We could easily spend more, but also increasing the conferences and seminars. Attending those has been another source of information. You know, there's quite a lot of those about, and I had some good information, particularly on new technology. I mean, springs to mind with the recent seminar at Watford. There was someone talking there on hybrid vehicles and hybrid vehicle technology. You know, and very soon we're going to be seeing that, and there's training courses becoming available for that technology. So it's yeah, it's a struggle, but we use whatever means we can to get the information we need. The best part of the job, I think, is still basically the same as it's always been, and that's identifying a problem with the vehicle and repairing it successfully and accurately the first time. How we do it and the areas that we do it have obviously changed massively from the days of sort of carburation issues and points issues and that type of thing. Obviously onto, you know, diagnosing CAN bus and fly-by-wire systems. But really, that's still the thing, particularly if it's a complex job, and even more so if someone else has looked at it prior to us seeing it, or two or three people. Even, I mean, we've got jobs at present where they've been to two or three other people who've not fixed the job. I like to think that we've never had a situation where we haven't actually managed to repair the vehicle and find the fault, and if we can do it accurately and efficiently, cost effectively, that makes for a good job as far as I'm concerned. The worst part of the job for me, really, it's nothing to do with the cars, really. It's to do with the business, and it's the bureaucracy that we have to deal with day in, day out, ongoing, that seems to be increasing, really. So health and safety, dealing with the insurance that we have to have, the various types. It seems to be that we just about get it all sorted out from one year, and we have to start on the following year. Environmental issues, which are, you know, obviously important, but we seem to have to do increasing levels of paperwork for no real gain. So that's really, you know, where the bit that I don't enjoy doing, coming in and filling in forms and that part of the business. The best part of equipment, I would say, is that we purchased recently is a back leakage tester. Quite a simple bit of kit to test the back leakage from modern common rail injectors, because we see quite a lot of fault there. Prior to having the kit, we just did it visually, literally by looking at the volume of back leakage and identifying the problem from there. But what we found, by actually measuring the back leakage, we can identify problem injectors prior to them actually failing. So although, you know, we would have seen one injector as a total failure, now we can identify that there may be one's a total failure, but there's another one that's actually a potential failure. And also increasingly with faults with pressure related to the system, which wouldn't necessarily show just by a visual check on the back leakage from the injector. Actually measuring it and making comparisons with the other injectors can identify faults, and very simple, very easy to use piece of equipment. I don't think there's any one answer to that. I think it's actually a combination. It's a combination of training, people and equipment and how they work together. Certainly training, I still do a lot of training for myself, and I encourage all my staff to train. And in fact, I'm looking hopefully next year to hand over the training budgets to them, setting them goals, but allowing them actually to organise their own training. And they all seem keen to train. So they never sort of say no to going on a course, even if it seems to be a fair way away. Equipment, again, keeping up to date, again, becoming increasingly important. I've always seen it as important, and we've always tried to keep up with the latest technology. Unfortunately, it's getting increasingly expensive, but I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, because the people that don't do it, don't want to invest, here today, gone tomorrow, can no longer really make a go of it in the business at all, and I think that's a good thing for the business. And people, you know, good people, you have to pay good money for good people, but good people will make you a better return than someone that is not very good at their job.